Seasoned with Grace Unbox presents Tune Up Tuesdays. This live weekly event is here to provide you and your family with tools for stronger family relationships. And now, here are your hosts, Doctors Robert and Denise Davis.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tune Up Tuesdays, presented by Seasoned with Grace Unboxed. We hope you're ready for today's subject. We're going to jump into something new today. Also today we're going to explore a little more about guiding principles. So let's get started. Robert, can you recap for us?
It'd be my pleasure. We've been looking at Murray Bowens' family therapy and clinical practice. I think this is kind of the crux of everything relative to developing emotional maturity and improving family functioning. On page 436 of Family Therapy and Clinical Practice, it says, when any key member of the family can accurately observe what is going on in their family, as well as the part that they play in it, when they can control their own emotional reactions, when they can avoid counterattacking when they are provoked, and when they can maintain an active relationship with the other key members of their family without withdrawing, emotionally checking out, or becoming silent, the entire system will change in a series of predictable steps. This is the essence of producing change in your family system. This is the method of coaching one person through the predictable functioning of their family system and supervising their efforts to modify their own functioning in all other relationships.
Okay, so just going through that powerful statement by Dr. Bowen, we have learned a lot. Beyond learning how to identify the key people in our families and how we interact with them, we've learned how to respond and function more emotionally mature. We've learned how to improve our skills at becoming a better self. So if I were to summarize everything into a sentence or two, it would be, the more we take control of our emotions and are clearer about who we are, the more mentally healthy and emotionally mature we will be.
You know, sometimes, Denise, we throw around words like emotionally mature and guiding principles, which is something we touched on last week. But let's stop and actually put definitions to these things. Okay. Emotionally mature. Matter of fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago, or 2 episodes ago, rather, you gave a very good definition about emotionally mature. And you said emotional maturity is not allowing others to control your emotions and not trying to control other people's emotions. And I've discovered that this is somewhat secular in unhealthy and counterproductive relationships, where someone does something that invokes a certain emotion from that person, and that person ends up becoming reactive. And we talked about the importance of not being emotionally reactive and being able to control how we respond emotionally. But then someone does something, I feel angry, so now I need to make them feel embarrassed, or I need to make them feel sad, or I need to make them feel angry in response. So, you know, and it's just tit for tat. But the reality of the matter is that is a clear indication that a couple of things. Number one, I am overly involved in this emotional relationship and this emotional reactivity. But then second of all, it means that the other person actually has one up on me. They control me. So that what I'm doing is not based off of who I am or who I want to be, but is based off of my response and my interaction with that person.
Situational personality.
Yeah, situational. Yeah, situational personality, situational response. And that's what we want to get away from, is being situational. We want to have a certain consistency within our lives. So let me add one more element to emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is not allowing others to control your emotions and not trying to control other people's emotions. And here's the catch: because you are clear about who you are and you function based on a set of guiding principles. I am clear about who I am and I function on a set of guiding principles. So then I don't let other people control my emotions. My emotions, my reactions, my reactivity is based off of who I am and who I want to be, and the principles that guide my life.
Okay, can I put a quick story in that? Sure. Yes, when thinking about guiding principles and how it applies in my life, I remember, I think it was like months ago. So when you're at work or just interacting on day to day, coming from Louisiana, I've learned to say hello to people, just hello to random people. So anyway, I started working at this particular place where some people didn't say hello at all. So, and I remember saying to myself, well, she'll say hello, so That was once upon a time. But I had to think to myself, you know what? I am the person who says hello to people, whether they answer or not. So that became a guiding principle of mine. So if I'm passing someone, I always give like a greeting, whether it's a head nod or eye contact or just hello. That's my guiding principle. And there have been people who don't answer, but I don't feel bad because I know this is me. This is the type of person who I want to be. And so I do it.
I acknowledge
other people.
Yeah. So that's part of my guiding principle. I acknowledge other people. And it's strange that you said that, because that was actually one of the things I said to myself. When I am in a place where there are two of us, I'm going to acknowledge the other human being. Mm-hmm. Whether they acknowledge me back, whether they try to avoid me, whatever, I'm going to let the other person know, I see you. I recognize you as another human being, and so that's going to be something that I'm going to do. It's amazing that you said you're going to do that as well.
Wow. Okay. Great minds think alike. We never talked about this. All right. So Robert, you did an entire webinar on developing guiding principles. So are you going to give us that information in this episode?
No, we won't be able to go over all. It's too intense.
Okay.
If people want to see the entire webinar, they can go to our website, swg-unbox.org, and you can fill out the form. This allows you to see the video for free and download the worksheets. Again, our website is right there, swg-unbox.org, and just go to the home and work and home life merger, and you'll get additional information on that. What I do want to do is to give a quick synopsis, and then I want to give a homework assignment that I believe will help our viewers.
Okay, so before you do that, let's go with some definitions, right? Guiding principles are our internal self-directed relationship values that govern all our human interactions.
Man, that sounds like something that a very brilliant person wrote. And I won't say who that brilliant person is, but would you be so kind as to read it again?
So what Dr. Davis is telling you is this is how you're going to behave no matter what the situation, no matter who you're interacting with.
Yeah, so one of my guiding principles is to suck up all of the praise and adoration of my wife.
Guiding principles are our internal self-directed relationship values that govern all our human interactions, according to Dr. Robert Davis. Not Dr. Denise Davis, Dr. Robert Davis.
Man, that's just one brilliant man.
Okay, so let me break it down into bite-sized pieces. Internal, they come from inside. The principles are core to who you are. Self-directed, they're not directed or controlled by external factors or forces or variables. Relationship values, they are consistent across all relationships. And I like that one. Consistency across all relationships. All right, so let's go through each of these section by section. Internal, when we say they come from inside, they're the core of who we are. It's basically who you want to be.
Yeah.
Establishing who you want to be and stick to it.
And that's the $1 million question. Who do I want to be? Who am I? It's two sides of the same coin. Who am I? Who do I want to be? The real me, which allows us to develop certain guiding principles.
You know what? In addition to doing a bucket list, we also do the 30. And we list 30 things we want to be. And one of them, I want to be a person that acknowledges other people. That's internal.
So I want to value people.
Yeah.
And one of the ways I value people is talk about my core value, my guiding principle. I value other humans. Mm-hmm. And so one of the ways that manifests itself is I speak to people. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my business partner, Rafael Soriano, today, and he mentioned to me that one of his guiding principles, he actually did the exercises and homework that you have access to on our website. He said that one of his guiding principles is that he believes in being punctual. He believes that punctuality is a way of valuing other people's time and valuing other people.
Wow. Okay.
It establishes a certain level of professionalism. So he works at being punctual. And I thought that was very good. So again, that question, who do I want to be? Who am I?
And that's an internal question to answer. Yes. And if it's self-directed, they're not dictated or controlled by external factors. So again, you acknowledge people not only if they acknowledge you or not, but just because it's internal. And it's self-directed.
They're self-directed. And one of the things about this is this gives us a place where we take ownership of our values. You know, we don't want to have, and we mentioned this just a moment ago, situational values. So for instance, I don't use, I don't speak degradingly about women when I'm with this group of friends, but I'll speak degradingly about women or about other ethnicities when I'm with a separate group of friends. You know, one of the things is that individual may say is, I value, I value women, and I value the equality of women. That may be something. You know, I value the equality of women, and so if that's the case, no matter what relationship I'm in, that's going to translate across. You know?
Whether you're on a golf course with the boys or you're in a mixed group with women.
Or if you're in a professional environment, then you're with your friends. It's a whole different language. And again, that goes back to allowing others to have control of my emotional maturity, others to have control of my core values. And when I want to take ownership, and part of that is I will not have situational values, and I will not have situational emotional responses.
Nice.
You know, one of the things I did say at the webinar was that oftentimes we talk to our children in a way that we would never talk to our coworkers.
Right.
So when our children make a mistake, then we respond to them in one way. When our coworkers make a mistake, we respond to them in a different way.
Okay. Or other people's children.
Or even other people's children, We're more patient with other people's children.
Right.
And so we don't want to have situational emotional responses.
Right. Okay. So when we talk about relationship values, we're talking about consistency across all relationships.
Yeah.
And which, I think they kind of overlap with the internal and avoiding situational values versus relationship. So we're going to behave the same way with one person than we would with another person, no matter what, whether it's family, whether it's friends, or whether it's a stranger, or whether it's someone you don't necessarily care for.
Yeah. And there will be people that just have, and you hit on that, but there are some people who just their personality or whatever it may be, we just don't gel with. And that's okay. You don't have to like every single person. What I mean by like is you don't have to have, everybody doesn't have to be your buddy that you can go and hang out with, that you tell everything to. That's not the issue. The issue is how you treat individuals. So how do you treat people that, I'm a very animated person. For those who know, I'm a very animated person. Are you saying no because you don't think I'm animated, or are you being sarcastic?
What? Sarcastic?
But I'm a very animated person. And some people say, hey, you know what? I don't like how animated he is. And that's okay. Some people are just quiet and shy, like, man, she'll never say nothing. I don't like quiet, shy people. That's okay. But how do you respond? How do you treat? How do you interact with individuals, regardless of who they are, regardless of their personality type?
How do I interact with his animation?
That's exactly right. How do you interact with my animation no matter what? Because I'm going to be consistently animated.
Oh, yes, he is.
Now, there are two difficult assignments when we talk about being consistent across all relationships. There are two very difficult assignments that we have to do. One is we have to develop our guiding principles. That is just to articulate them, to know what they are. And then number two, and this is the really hard one. As you can tell, some of us haven't got there yet. Some of us have mastered it. But that is practicing these guiding principles until they are part of our lives. And there are going to be situations and times when we are going to mess up. There are going to be situations and times when we're going to, make mistakes.
Right. I've been practicing quite a bit. Haven't been quarantined. So.
You've been practicing what?
My guiding principles and learning to be consistent. Okay.
And I guess it does help living with someone who is, somewhat of a master in these things. It's kind of like if you live with Bruce Lee, your martial arts skills are probably going to be better than someone who only comes.
So if I live with Bruce Lee, then I have to constantly work on my skills for when I fight Bruce Lee. Yeah. You're constantly fighting Bruce Lee, so yeah.
Or you could just see how wonderful Bruce Lee is at his martial arts, or you can see how wonderful a person is
Not from observation.
at practicing their guiding
It's
principles.
not from observation. It's not from.
All right, before Dr. Denise Davis goes off on the deep end, let me give everyone a quick homework assignment to get you started on developing your guiding principles. And I just want you to journal your responses. Complete 10. How many did I say? 10. The magic number is 10. Complete 10 I am statements. For instance, an example may be, I am generous. Now, Denise talked about this. I am friendly. So when I see people I speak, I am friendly. These are your ideals for how you want to be in all your relationships. Mm-hmm. So write out 10 of those I am statements. I am generous. Whatever your other I ams. My friend said I am patient. My friend, I tell you, Raphael, said I am punctual. Again, these are the ideals for how you want to be in all of your relationships. Once again, if you want to see the entire webinar that we did that goes in depth about developing guiding principles, and I mean, it gives you a lot of tools, I want you to visit www.swg-unbox.org. Because I'm an old man, I have to say www. It's swg-unbox.org, or the link right here on your page, or it's right above on our Facebook page. You just click on it, and you can view the video, and you can download the free worksheets.
Good. Okay. So I do want to encourage you to stay safe during this difficult time. We may be getting close to returning to normal. Not sure how that's going or how that's going to be, but I'm sure that a lot of people have some anxiety around that. So stay safe and be encouraged. Follow local and federal directives as it relates to safety. Wash your hands, disinfect your surroundings, and use hand sanitizers. Use proper sanitary practices. And if you feel sick, and if you feel sick, seek professional medical help. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tune Up Tuesdays, because even the smoothest running families need a Tune Up Tuesday. See you next week.
Seasoned with Grace Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.